I've had the Soundcore Q45 headphones since Black Friday, and I've been using them over the last couple of months. And while I have to say that they are a decent pair of headphones, I have continually found myself gravitating back to my Soundcore Life Q30 headphones. If you're looking for the simple, like, should you buy these headphones answer, I'll save you the effort of skipping to the end of the video and tell you right now that if the Q45s are your first pair of over-the-ear headphones and they're the cheapest option available at the time, sure, go for it. But if that's not the case, I would recommend the Q30s over these. If you want to know why that is and my general review on the Q45s, go ahead and keep on watching. Hi y'all, it's Annelies, and while I was planning out this video to kind of take notes on what I liked and didn't like about the Q45s, I was continually comparing them to the Q30s, and that's for two reasons. One, they're the only other headphones I have to compare them to, and two, I would recommend the Q30s over the Q45s, but this is a video about the Q45s. If you want to watch my detailed review on the Q30s, I'll have that link down below, and I just recently rewatched it. I have to say, all my points still stand 2 years later, so there's that. But let's go ahead and get into the review of the Q45s, and I wanted to start off with comfortability and fit. So these headphones are fine. I think they're relatively comfortable, and I think to the average person, they would be just fine as far as comfort goes. But for me personally, I have a really sensitive head, and I've found myself getting tired of these really fast. Now, there is this kind of like cushion plushiness on the top, as well as on the ear cups, and it's soft. Like, I have no complaints against it, and even if I'm looking at my Q30s, the cushion has kind of like deflated over the last 2 years. However, I can wear my Q30s much longer than I can my Q45s. I don't entirely know what or why that is. I have a feeling it's because of the size of the headphones, because these are big. I have a big basketball sized head, but I normally wear headphones like this on the shortest setting. I think my ears are just really high. I don't know. But these are like definitely longer. I can feel the ear cup sitting at a lower point, and I have it on the shortest setting on the headband. The headband itself is shorter than the Q30s. However, this little stem that attaches the ear cups to the headband is longer, which then put the ear cups at a lower position. Now that causes a problem in two ways. For me, I can feel like the pressure of where they're sitting on my ears. It's just kind of like in a weird spot because they're just too low and there's no way to bring them up. So I would say in that sense, these headphones are too big for me, and potentially because of the length of these headphones and the weight of them, maybe that's what's making my head hurt. I don't know, but I've just like sat editing with these headphones on, and then I can feel that like oh so familiar pain right at the tippy top of my head where the band is sitting, and I have to take these headphones off. And I can switch to the Q30s and I'm fine, but I don't know what it is about these ones. There's something about the shape and design of these that is putting some extra pressure. Something that I did notice, and that might be contributing to it as well, not just because of how low the ear cups are placed, but if you look at me wearing these headphones, there is less space between the band and the side of my head. If I switch over to the Q30s, you'll notice that there's a bit more space. I can almost put 2 fingers between the band and my head. In that way, I feel like it's distributing the pressure across the top of my head differently, and so maybe that's why it's not such a centralized pain. I'm just trying to figure out, because frankly, I don't understand why those headphones are less comfortable than these as far as like the pressure on my head, but they are. Those are my theories, take them as you will. But when it comes to the like cushions on these headphones, both on the ear cups and on the band, they're soft, they're plush, the material is soft, and I feel like it bounces back really nice, so I have no complaints in that regard. Now, there's something really interesting about the design of the Q45s that, in my opinion, impacts the comfort and fit of them. If you look at the two headphones that I'm holding side by side, I've got the Q45s here, they're the blue ones, and the black ones are the Q30s. If you look at the ear cups as they are just hanging on my thumbs, the Q45s are kind of like tilting up at this 45-degree angle, but the Q30s are almost parallel to each other. And that is something that I think heavily impacts the comfort and the longevity of wear with the Q45s. On the Q30s, if you see here, it's kind of got a wide articulation range. I'll put a close-up on screen now, but there is this hinge of where the ear cup attaches to the headphone that it can just bend and swivel freely. So if you've got got maybe a more triangular face, or maybe you've got a face that's more boxy. These can kind of adapt to you and really easy. I'm barely pushing on these and they move. And I think that helps them be more comfortable because there's not an additional pressure right where the ear cups are at to make them adjust to your head shape. Now, if we go to the Q45s, like I said, they're turned up at this kind of like 45-degree angle. And if I want to tilt them to be parallel, I have to put a good amount of force. Like, I can't do it with one finger because it starts stretching the whole headband. If I wanted to just tilt the ear cup, I'm putting a lot of pressure on that to make that happen. As soon as I let go, they go back to where they were. And I think that right there is what is causing me to have kind of like, I don't want to say jaw pain, but kind of right at the hinge of my jaw. If I wear these for too long, I can just feel an extra pressure. And that is because the bottom of these headphones are trying to turn in. The hinge or the spring or whatever it is has such tight tension that you're constantly always getting kind of like a push inward. They want to be at that 45-degree angle. I hope you get what I mean in the sense that I think these headphones should be able to go parallel more easily. So not only does the top of my head get tired when I wear these, but also the sides of my face and kind of my jaw get tired. That right there would immediately say to me, if you're somebody who experiences TMJ, you might want to avoid the Q45s just because of how tense these ear cups want to turn in and get you right underneath your ear, right in that kind of jaw hinge area. With all of that being said, I'm going to give the Q45s a 3.5 out of 5 on comfortability and fit. They don't adjust nearly as much as the Q30s do. I do not think they would be a good fit for small heads, and personally, my head gets tired of them pretty fast. However, the material is soft and the cushions are pretty plush. So they're not bad by any means, but for me, they're not good. Next, let's talk about the form factor. Now, I already talked about this just a little bit, but because of the way that the ear cup is attached to the headband, I do think they have a more sleek form factor. It doesn't feel like the headband is so far from your head, and so for that reason alone, I do like the look of the Q45s better than the Q30s. Now, as far as compactability goes with the form factor, the Q45s fold up pretty nicely, just like the Q30s do, and both of them come with some sort of hard shell carrying case. It's sturdy, it's good. You can put these in there. You just turn the ear cups flat, zip it up, and you're good to go. And if for some reason you wanted to be an absolutely crazy person and just throw these in your bag without a case, don't know why you'd want to do that, but this whole situation folds up pretty small and tight, so I think that's pretty good. As far as form factor goes, I will give these a 4.5 out of 5. Next up, I wanted to talk about the design and build of the Q45s. I think Soundcore makes some really nice looking things. I have a speaker, I have in-ear headphones, I have these two over-the-ear headphones, and I think that the Q45s are a great example of Soundcore's excellent design. I think the colors look really nice. We've got an embossed Soundcore logo on the ear cup that matches the plastic, which is a nice, smooth, matte plastic. Then we have the Soundcore logo on the ear band. On the Q30s, it just says active noise canceling, so I like this upgrade. And then we go to the brushed blue aluminum at the top of the headband. All of the cushions are really soft and plush, so I think they look really nice. They don't feel cheap. They don't look cheap to me. And although they are not a cheap pair of headphones, as far as like, you know, $100 is not cheap, but in comparison to your Sonys and your Marshall and your Apple AirPods Max $500 over-the-ear headphones, these are much cheaper, but I don't think they look cheap. They are a nice, fashionable pair of over-the-ear headphones, in my opinion. Now let's talk design and build from a functionality standpoint. Like I've already said, good plastic, good aluminum, good textural materials. I don't know what you would call whatever these ear cups are made out of, but it all feels really nice, and I think that these headphones have a really solid build quality. I don't feel like they're gonna snap on me or anything. Now, one big design bonus on these headphones is that they've slightly adjusted the buttons. Now, nothing has changed with the button placement, and I think that's really important when you're upgrading a line of headphones, is so that way if you do have people who are upgrading to every generation, they're not having to relearn where these buttons are that frankly nobody's looking at because they're on the sides of your head. So it is important to remember that on the left side, this is the power button, and on the right side, this is where the volume is. However, for somebody like me, I don't use the controls on the headphones a lot. I'm primarily controlling the play, pause, and the volume from whatever device I'm playing my media from. However, the one thing I do use is the active noise cancellation adjustment button that is on the left headphone. However, I don't always remember that it's there because I don't use it that much. So I'll often on the Q30s, go to my right ear, I'll feel a button that's in the similar place, I press it, and whoops, it's actually the volume up button. And the upgrade that the Q45s have made that to me solves that problem is that the volume button, and I'll show you on screen right now, is actually a large volume rocker. So instead of having two separate buttons for volume up, volume down, it's now one big button that you press the top of for volume up and the bottom of for volume down. Now the problem that has solved is that soon as I put my hand on my right ear cup and I go to press what I am mistaking to be the noise cancellation adjustment button, I feel that button is massive and I go, whoops, wrong side, and I switch to the left. And that alone has been like training my brain better as to what buttons are where. So I have kind of that like understanding without looking at it. I still mess that up with the Q30s, and I've had those headphones for 2 years just because the buttons feel identical and I haven't gotten it down yet. Maybe that's a comment on me, I don't know, but my point being is that with these buttons all being slightly different sizes, you can tactily understand what they are versus having to remember what they are. And so that alone, yes, I think it is a simple problem and a silly one at that. However, I think that this is a really effective solution that just makes sense. And while we're on design and build, I'm going to have to mention what I consider to be a huge design flaw, and that is the articulation of these ear cups. I think the tension in it is way too much. The fact that you can't freely adjust them, like I feel like this is stupid. And I also feel like because of how freely the other ones move and how unnatural this feels to me, I would not be surprised if somebody just thought that something was wrong with their headphones, pushed a little too hard and it snapped, and then they broke their headphones. So I'm just pointing this out again because in case if somebody from Soundcore is watching this video, like fix this, because this should not be this. Like it should be looser than this because I think it will fit better on more people's heads, and also like why? So for design and build, I'm gonna give the Q45s a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, let's go into battery life. I've had these, like I said, for 2 months, and I don't think I've charged them once. Maybe I charged them out of the box, but that is it. Have I used them for 50 hours straight? No, but the fact that I've used these as much as I have over the last 2 months, and I have not charged them once, that's an A+ for me. It says on the website that the battery is 50 hours with ANC and 65 on standard mode, and like, sure, I'll take your word for it. I have not tested that out, but I have to say the battery life on these is great, so 5 out of 5, obviously. Now I have tested the mic quality on these headphones, and it honestly sounds the same as the Q30s, and it sounds the same as any other Bluetooth headphones. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Maybe in 2024, we get a pair of headphones that actually has a good microphone, because to me, it is shocking that I don't know of a single pair of headphones that are Bluetooth on the market right now that have a good microphone on them. If you know of one, let me know in the comments down below, but here's your microphone test if you wanted to hear it. So I did a classic little oopsie doodle. I don't know what happened to the test audio for the Q45s. The only audio I can find is my test audio of my test audio. So, sorry. These also sound like any other microphone you've heard. Like I said, not bad, not good. So here is 4 seconds. So here is 4 seconds of test audio for the microphone of the Q45s. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't think this is testing the microphone on the headphones. And I said this in my last video, but it stands true for the Q45s. My mother will be the first person to tell you if your mic quality sounds bad on a FaceTime call. And I've worn these multiple times on the phone with her, and I've gotten no comments. That alone, I think, is a gold stamp of approval from Veldman, so I'll give the mic quality 4 out of 5 stars. Now it's time to talk about what I would consider the most important aspect of a pair of headphones, and that is the sound quality. And I'm going to say the disclaimer that I say before any of my headphone review videos is that I am not an audiophile. I'm just a normal person listening to these headphones. I don't know about the treble, the bass, and all those adjustments and all those different aspects of audio quality. So if you're looking for that kind of detailed review, that's not what you're gonna find here. I'm coming at this from the perspective of an average user who is just listening to the stuff that they want to listen to, and they want it to sound good. That's my perspective. Also, I do want to say, because this was a comment that I got quite a bit on my Q30 review, is that yes, I know that Soundcore has an app for all of their devices, and in that app you can kind of fine tune some audio things. You can adjust the noise cancellation, and I think there are some audio things you can adjust, but that's not for me. Because for me, and what I think honestly a lot of people would do when it comes to purchasing a pair of headphones, is that you want to be able to take them out of the box, connect them to your device, and that they just work. There's no tinkering that you have to do. It just works from the moment you get it connected. So while I did actually play around with the Soundcore app for these headphones to kind of give it the benefit of the doubt, I then realized that this is not an experience that I want, and that's not how I'm judging a pair of headphones for myself. I want them to be, for lack of a better term, plug and play. So this section is me reviewing the sound quality from an average person's perspective with no adjustments at all. And I have to say, the sound quality of the Q45s to me is not up to par. First off, there is a constant room noise with no matter what you're listening to. It's almost like static is overlaid on everything. Now, I spent an hour, maybe more, with my Q45s connected to my Mac and my Q30s connected to my iPad, and I just kind of put the headphones on, played the same song at the same point of the song, and played it for 30 seconds, and then went back, and played it for 30 seconds, and then went back, and listen to different bits of different songs of different types of media. So we had videos, we had podcasts of just people talking, and then we had 3 different, varying different types of music. No matter what I was listening to, I constantly heard the room noise over everything. And another thing that I have to say, if I am going to get really detailed here with my audio review, is that everything sounds flat. Like when I was going back and forth between my Q30s and my Q45s, it just felt like the Q45s, everything was at the same level, but with the Q30s, there just felt more like, it felt like more rounded sound. It felt like the music had color. Now, I hope you understand that, because there's no way for me to show you in this video. You just kind of have to take my word for it, and I think I'm explaining my experience pretty well. Like when I've really thought about this, of how can I communicate that the Q45s just don't sound as good as the Q30s or any headphones that I own. And like the main thing that I wrote in my notes was room noise, static, and flat. Like it all just sounds flat. Now, when I listen to these without doing the whole like 30-second compare back and forth of the Q30s versus these versus my AirPods Pro even, when I first tried them on, for instance, I took them out of the box, connected them, whatever, and I was immediately like, I don't love this. I don't love the sound. Don't know why, but it's sounding very mediocre right now. And so that's what made me go get my Q30s, connect them, and then I realized I was missing a lot. Now, do I still get the detail? Yes. Like when I was listening to Green Dolphin Street, there's kind of like trumpets or something, and then you've got like, you get the big band noises of jazz music and crooners and all that stuff. So I was still hearing all the individual pieces, but I wasn't getting the color of them. I wasn't getting the roundedness of them. They all just felt, like I said, flat. Now, what I said earlier, that over the last 2-ish months that I've been using these headphones, I am constantly finding myself gravitating towards the Q30s. The main reason why, yeah, they hurt my head, whatever, is because of the sound. Because especially if I'm video editing, I want to make sure my videos sound good, and I felt like listening with the Q45s was not an accurate experience, so I stopped editing with these on. Now, yes, I've given them a chance, and I've listened to them for longer stints at a time, and that's how I know they hurt my head after a certain amount of time and whatever, but like, I'm going to the Q30s because in my opinion, they sound leagues better, and that's why I'm returning these, because I'm not going to use them because they hurt my head, and I don't think they sound good. So that's my audio review. That's why I don't think you should buy these headphones. Like, I want to try other Soundcore headphones because now I'm kind of curious, because I would consider these, the way that they kind of feel to me, is like the flagship over-the-ear headphone to Soundcore. And now I'm curious of like, are they just getting worse quality headphones? Like, yeah, the build of it's great, but like the sound quality, are they getting any better? Are they getting any worse? Is this a fluke thing? I want to try other Soundcore over-the-ear headphones. So I've thought about this a lot. What would my rating on the sound quality be? Like I said, they don't sound like trash, but I also don't think you should buy them because of the sound quality. I'm gonna say a 3 out of 5 because there is still some detail there. There is some sound there. And if you don't have any headphones at all, you've got nothing to compare it to, so you'll think it sounds fine. But as soon as you listen to the audio outside the headphones or with any other sort of headphones, you'll see that they just don't. They don't, in my opinion, match the price that you're paying for them. Now that I've completely torn into them when it comes to the sound quality, I feel like it's important to mention the noise cancellation, and I'm just gonna keep this short and sweet. The noise cancellation's great. It's just like the Q35s. Was I able to go on the tube with these? No. So I have not tested them on the tube. However, I did a couple of tests at home. So I have to say the noise canceling is the same caliber as it is on the Q30s. Do I think it will save me from the screeching of the tube? No, but it's pretty dang good otherwise. I would have to say, like, I feel like a 4.5 out of 5 is pretty fair, because I feel like something that gets the full 5 stars will save me from the central line screeching. And I'm still on that hunt for that headphone that gets 5 stars on the noise cancellation. Now, really quick, I did just want to talk about the price because I did mention how I don't think these headphones are worth the price. So I've got it written down over here. Currently in the US, you can buy these for $150, but there is a like $20 coupon you can get, so that would come out to $130. And then in the UK, normally these are 140 pounds, but they are currently 98 pounds for just some flash deal. And that's the same deal that I got on Black Friday. And then when I checked it like 2 weeks ago, that deal wasn't going on. So you know how Amazon can be weird with just like, hey, this thing's on sale now for like 3 days. But I did just want to say that in the UK, if you're paying 98 pounds, you're paying $124. And then in the US, if you're paying $130, you're paying 102 pounds. These headphones normally go for 140 pounds, and I don't think they're worth 140 pounds. This feels very similar to my Raycon review of like, are the headphones trash? No. Are they the worst pair of headphones I've ever listened to? No. But I don't think they're worth the price tag. So before I go, I just wanted to do a quick review recap. The things that I like about the Q45s is obviously the style. I think they look really nice. The build quality is really solid and it feels good in your hands. I don't feel like they're gonna break on me. They feel well made. And then of course the battery life is spectacular. Now the things that I don't like about these headphones is the comfortability and the sound quality, which in my opinion, those two things are way more important than those 4 other things. So yeah, battery life I do think is important, especially for a Bluetooth pair of headphones. The style thing, I think the Q30s look fine. I don't like them as much as the Q45s, but I'm not embarrassed to wear them. And then to compare the Q30s and the Q45s, which obviously I've been doing this whole video, the build quality on both of them is fine. But as far as comfort goes, I can't wear these for a long time, so I can't edit with them on, essentially, because I'm at the computer for hours on end when I'm editing, or just, you know, really doing anything, traveling, whatever. And then most importantly, which I hope I've driven this point home pretty well, is that the sound is not up to par. And the purpose of headphones is for them to sound. End of sentence. Is for them to make sound, and if the sound is not good on them, then I don't want them. So for that reason, I am returning these headphones, and I've been waiting to film this review. I have like 2 more weeks to hold on to them, so these headphones are going back in their box, and then this is going back to Amazon because I don't want them. So that's all I have to say on the Soundcore Space Q45s, and if you're somebody who's been trying to decide if these are the right headphones for you, I hope this video was helpful in some way. And if you have any questions about the Q45s, leave them down in the comment section as always, or if you have any other headphones that you'd like me to test out, of course, leave all those suggestions down in the comments as well. And of course, as I do in every one of my videos, I need to take a brief moment to thank all of my Patreon supporters. The lovely, beautiful people you're seeing on screen now are some of my top tier patrons, and if you want to be like them and support this channel and get your name tattooed on the end of all of my videos, you can go to patreon.com/Annelies, and thank you so very much to all of my patrons of past, present, and future. All right, I am done yapping. That is it for me. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!